Well, hello there, and good morning. Welcome to the Backstage Pass, where today we are having a stamp class. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. It means we're gonna get some ink out, we're gonna get stamps out, we're gonna cut paper, we're gonna get sticky with glue and all that good stuff. So I'm glad that Thursday is here. It's one of my favorite days of the week. So I have lots to share with you today using the More Than Autumn bundle. And I see my cue here, right there in the upper corner, that I have a viewer, which that is my cue. Hello, Lori Healy. It's so good to have you here. 3 people. Awesome. So that is my cue for Good Thursday morning, and welcome to the Backstage Pass. Today's class is called Use It Up. And I am featuring let me grab it here, the More Than Autumn bundle. I know this is backwards for you, but you know, that's not going to make a difference, right? So More Than Autumn, that is what I'm featuring today. Before I turn and show you my upcoming classes, I have a couple announcements. Hello, Marlene. Anybody else that's watching, give me hello. I didn't catch quite who all was on, but I'm glad to have you here. So this is an important month. There is a sign up, a starter sign up special. Let me show you that ad. It looks something like this. I know this is backwards, but this is fun. So with for this month, those people signing up to be a demonstrator can sign up. It's $125, but you're going to get $155 worth of product, and you get to pick whatever you want from the annual catalog, the holiday catalog, or the online exclusives. And all your business supplies are going to be free. Speaking of free, if you sign up under me as your team leader, you will get to attend my events for free. You're here in the Backstage Pass. That's already, you get that. But you're also going to become a member of the Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin Backstage Pass. And I'm thinking of changing the name of the Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin to Upstyle Your Kits, you know, because it's going to be Paper Pumpkin and Kits collection, because I am starting. This isn't an ad for the new class, but this is an ad for for kits, because kits are on sale this month. They're 10, 20, and 30% off. And I'm starting a new class, and it'll kind of vary when I have them, but I will let you know. So I'm letting you know far in advance that I will be having Upstyle Your Kits collection classes. My first class will actually be, it will be during the A Little Bit Festive mini camp, and I'm going to be featuring the Christmas ornaments kits. So you're going to want to get that kit in hand, and you're going to want to register for A Little Bit Festive mini camp. So let me turn my camera and, excuse me, frog in my throat. I'm so sorry. Anyhow, let's just give you a little heads up as to what's coming up in the next couple months here. So here comes the hand. Let's see if I can switch the camera facing and not turn the whole thing off like I did last week. Let's see here. Oh, I did it. Yay. Okay, so let me also bring this down a little bit. That looks like it's about as far down as I can go. So funny. Excuse me, I still have that frog. When I do Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin, I do that in my Seeing Ink Spots business page. And the camera is totally different there. It's like a closer view, even though I have my camera at the same setting. So let me see if I can even lower it further. Okay. All right. That's about the best it's going to be. So you're going to get a little bit of my mess on the sides. Okay. So, Claire, I'm glad you are here. Good morning. Good to have you. And like I say, there are others. Do, flood it with comments, the group, the video here, so that hopefully they'll populate to me sooner than not. Okay, so I said I would give you some announcement of what's coming up. Next week is the last day to register for the A Little Bit Festive mini camp. This is going to be an event. There are 2 ways to join in this group. There's the PDF version for $23. That's for anybody who would like to join along. And then there is the everything you need for $89. And I only have a few more of those spots left. So registration actually ends next Friday. So join for the A Little Bit Festive mini camp. This is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to feature the A Little Bit Festive DSP. That's your hint. I'm going to be using the Greetings of the Season stamp set. This is a fun one, you guys. You can use any Christmas greetings you have, though. I'm kind of designing it neutral like that. But this is the one I'm using. I'm using this one because it's a new one. It's an online exclusive. But to me, this is great for the insides and the outsides of cards. But it also gives me a little bit of greetings that work for creating tags, like a to from, a for you, to you and yours. So that's what I'm using, just FYI. So next Friday, it's the last day to register. That mini camp is not here in the Backstage Pass. It will have its own group. It'll be called Studio Ink Spots, A Little Bit Festive mini camp. So that's coming up, folks. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be a lot. You are going to be surprised how many projects we're going to be making. Next month, on November 7th, we will be upstyling our Nests of Christmas paper pumpkin kit. That will be on YouTube. Yes, next month, I'm going to switch things to YouTube and Zoom. So you heard it here, maybe last week. Hopefully you'll catch up this week that I'm going to switch to there because this whole comment business is driving me batty. So, okay. All right. Coming up in November, just so you know, well, let's actually do these in order. Use It Up in November will be the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper. And this class will be a focus on DSP. So yeah, I'll probably be finding some sort of stamp set and dies to go with it, but it will be a focus on the DSP. That'll be the 14th. And no pickup class in November. Instead, Technique Time will take that time slot because of Thanksgiving here in the United States, the 4th Thursday of the month. So Technique Time in November will be the Reindeer Days Sweet Collection. And oh, this is fun. I have made a bunch of things with this recently and enjoyed every bit of my crafting time. Your kits are $35, and that will get you shipping to your door, or there is a PDF version as well. Or if you place an order, and this is what's cool, if you place an order this month or next month, it's going to go towards this Technique Time. So a $50 order will get you this one for free. If you order this month, you're like a $75 order, you'll get this class and the Nests of Winter for free. So it's kind of weird, but that's because we have these holidays. You will be receiving a full pack of the peppermints in your kit and DSP and all kinds of beautiful things. So you may want to join that class. And then I want to just give you a little bit of a heads up. I don't have the dies out because they're still in the envelope, but Regal Flora, this is in the September to December holiday mini catalog. This is the bundle I'm going to be using the end of December for our 2025 desktop calendar class. So just putting it out there. I don't have an ad for it yet, but that's what's coming up. This calendar is going to be gorgeous with all these rich, deep jewel tones and golds. So look for that if you want to make that calendar. And today it's all about More Than Autumn. So let's just dive right in. Here's my kit. And let's see what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making some cards for sure, right? But the first thing I want to do is, yes, you need your stamps and your dies. Do you guys ever use one of these? This is a magnetic dish. super magnetic, but I throw all of my dies in here while I'm working with a suite collection or a bundle. It makes life easier. You can pick these up at like Harbor Freight. I even noticed like at D&B Supply, my son bought a rectangle one like that for, tools for working on cars. I'm like, I would kind of like that because then I could spread these out a little bit more. But I find these very handy. So that's where my dies are. Here are the stamps. So you're going to need 1 bazillion blocks for this class today, unless you want to change blocks and things. So I have a lot. Look at all these, and they're in a line, and they go all the way back behind my stand. It's a little funny, but it's going to be fun. Okay, so moving right along, let's begin with, let's open up our kit for one, see what's in here. Now, these kits are not, okay, so let me explain for some newbies here that may have received a More Than Autumn kit. These kits are a little different than Technique Time. Technique Time, the cards are designed and then the kits are packed in order for everything you need. Because these go out so far in advance, these actually get packed and then I design around what's in the pack, okay? I know it's kind of like a chance dance sort of thing, if you know what chance dance is. Maybe that'll be another conversation. Anyhow, so everything you're gonna need paper-wise, and I'm back. I don't know why it did that. Just hang on with me. Oh, good. I'm seeing comments. So yes, they're piping in. Jacqueline says reindeer set. Nicole has. So okay, all right. Amazon has them too. That must be for these. Okay. So things froze for a second. If they did, please just come right back or hang on. Hopefully. I don't know what's going on. Our internet goes in and out and in and out, and I'm right next to the router, which is crazy. Okay, enough chat. Here we go. So we don't need that anymore. This is your smalls bag. And now this class is called Use It Up. So what I do is I kind of go through my stash of things, and it's like, okay, we need to use up this paper and, use this up. I have a lot of that, or I have scraps left over from that. And so I'll kind of bundle them all together and make a kit that makes sense. So in your smalls bag, you have some retired items, but just because they're retired doesn't mean that they're not, perfect for cards. So we'll talk about these in a minute. You have some card stocks. We're going to use those. And you have some designer series paper and some ribbon. So the one thing that I do want you to grab that you don't have in this kit is I want you to just grab any old piece of scratch paper. It doesn't even matter what it is, okay? So just grab a piece of scratch paper. It can be, just something that you don't really care about. We're just going to be making a jig with it. And then you also might want, every now and again, you just might need a little extra white, depending on how many images we actually stamp and use. So anyhow, so have a little bit of extra paper on hand, just in case, and a piece of scratch. That's all you're going to need. Everything else is right here. But I want to start. You have a 1/4 sheet of white. So let's start with that 1/4 sheet of white. And then I want you to grab any set of dies that are labels or tags. Maybe it's stylish shapes, or maybe it's stitched shapes from a long time ago. Just find some label dies. I'm going to use the Something Fancy dies, and I'm going to pull out 3 of them, and I am going to just place these on my card here, card stock, and I'm going to die cut these. Jan Lacey says, you use a magnetic bowl, grabbed it off my husband's workbench. Has he noticed that it's missing? Yeah, I do. I like the magnetic dishes. Okay, so like I say, we're going to use one of each of these for each project. It doesn't have to be exact, but you get the idea, right? You could even just cut some rectangles. You could use circles. I was trying to refrain from circles. You know me, that's my favorite shape. I love circles on cards. I guess because I love the juxtaposition of a circle on a rectangular card. It stands out to me. But I was trying to seek out other shapes and be more versatile. So we have these. So we're done with these dies. We don't need these anymore because we've already got what we need for class today. So again, these are the Something Fancy dies. Those are in the annual catalog. Keep that. We might end up stamping on there because we are stamping oodles and bazoodles of pieces today. Lots and lots of pieces. How many of you are actually possibly stamping along? How many of you have the More Than Autumn bundle and are going to make a few things? It doesn't have to be this, but maybe this inspires you to get your mojo moving. But good morning, Terry. Happy you are here. Okay, so for our first card, we're going to do this. We're going to use the pecan pie. So I have a half sheet of pecan pie in my pack here. We're going to use that. And let's see, this first one, I'm going to use this label. So, and you can see I could interchange any of these, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to use that one. This will be for later. I'm going to use the pumpkin pie. We're just going to do some die cutting out of this. Let me backtrack. Nicole is stamping along. You have the stamp set, not the dies, but you like fussy cutting. Well, and you know what? Every now and then, the fussy cutting looks better than the dies because it takes off that white edge, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's see. What else are we going to use in here? We're going to use some of this white here. We're going to be stamping on that. And then paper-wise, we're going to use this one. This is this is kind of a medium to dark brown. The back side has the distressed barnwood that has the petal pink in it. We're going to use this side. And then this piece here. And then the rest of these are going to go to the side, and we will use those later. Kayleen says, I love when you can die cut more than one die at a time. Yep, I agree. The little things do make me happy. I'm like, you are going to go through 5 at a time just so that you can, you know, conquer it and go, yeah, look how much I got done in one fell swoop. Okay, so this is our card base. We're going to do a little trimming to this. And what I'm going to do, this layout is kind of a riff on one of our cards that we did for the Sophisticated Sled. So I'm opening up my card and I'm going to cut off, this isn't the measurements from Sophisticated Sled, but it's the same idea. I am going to cut off 1 inch. Hello, Karen. Thank you for saying hello. So I've cut off 1 inch. Save that. You never know when we might use it. And now with my wood tone here, I'm going to cut off 1 1/4 inch. Now I'm to this side. So I'm cutting off 1 1/4 inch. Save that. Never know when we're going to use it. And I want this to be, 5.5 inches long. So we're just going to take that little tab off. I am not saving that. Hello, Rose Carey from Palmdale, California. Come on down. So this piece will layer right on that side. So this is very similar to what we did in the Sophisticated Sled class. And then this piece here, I want this piece to be 3 inches. Save that, you never know when we're going to use it, by 5 1/4. Okay, 3 by 5 1/4. So now my card base, this one's going to set on that panel, yet this one is going to cover everything. Okay, so I have a little bit of a frame around. So that is how we're going to set the stage for this card. Now, I want to do some things and create a fun background here. We'll get to stamping and some things in just a minute. But I'm going to bring in this could either be your clear plate or your magic mat, whichever one you're using. I'm using a magic mat, you can see. So I'm going to do a little bit of double cutting here. Like Kayleen just said, when I can get more done at one fell swoop, it makes me happy. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do some die cutting. Here's the word pumpkin. I'm going to cut the word pumpkin out on my piece of orange here. Pumpkin pie, duh. And then there is this cool leaf, this super cool leaf die. It's little, but it's in here. And I'm going to put this, and I think I'm going to kind of put it off just, well, no, I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to go this way. So we're going to end up making a background on here, but we're going to save all the pieces. So this is going to go through just like so. And your leaves can be kind of, they don't have to be exact because we are creating a background. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Just kind of keep those right there like that. Then I'm going to do another one kind of right down here. And I'm also going to cut another pumpkin out. And I'm going to cut another pumpkin out because I like to have my words to be a little bit raised up. And so I'm going to raise it up by just gluing it to another pumpkin. Now, if I were smart, I would have adhesive back on here. But I'm not. I'm not that smart. I didn't prepare ahead of time. So it's just going to have to be glue for me, right? That's okay. I actually prefer to glue. It's easier than the whole, I don't know. That's just the way I am. I know, call me weird. Okay, so a pumpkin, another pumpkin, and another leaf. And I'm going to do one more leaf, and I think I'm going to do it kind of, this time we'll do it like right about there. But I am finished with this piece. That's all the pumpkins we're going to need. Save this. You never know when we're going to use it, which we are going to be coming back to some of these pieces later on in today's class. Excuse me. Okay, so there's my pumpkin. Okay. Get these little thingies out of the way. That is it for the word pumpkin. I don't need that die anymore, so I'll put that away. So just one more leaf, I think will be plenty here. And that will finish out what I'm going to do. Now you might have noticed that I put these kind of off to the side because I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff in here, so it's not going to show. But I'm going to try and pick all this up and keep it all together. It doesn't look like it's going to come, but just know where those pieces are. We'll glue them back on. Oh, good. Oh, I had it and then it popped out. Okay, so but these two are together. This is just kind of an inlay technique. And I need that inside. So you need all of your pieces back because that's going to be part of your background. So it's just kind of a textured background. So let's glue this stuff together so that we can get all of these little pieces in this out of the way. So with a little bit of glue here, I am using, like I said last week, because it just fits the season so perfectly. That's from Kayleen. I love it. It's my little glue stand. So let's just start to put these pieces together. This one, it's a little darker down here, so I'm going to put that in the bottom corner instead of the upper. Okay. And we could have a panel of white in here, but that'll, maybe later on I'll get that done. Okay, so now let's glue this guy. Yes, I agree, Rose. It is easier. So Rose says it's easier with the glue because you have a little bit of manipulation time. Yeah, you can kind of slide things into place if you need to. I totally agree with that. Okay, so this one here goes down in this little corner. And that may be a lot. Ooh, you guys, I just found, look at this. This is bad. I just found my die in my trash bin. Okay, I'm just going to kind of use a piece of scratch paper to move a little of this glue around. Okay, we'll just set that in. And you know what? If some of it sticks out like it is doing right now, call it texture, call it dimension, call it a bonus. We'll glue there. That's this leaf. See if we can get any of this to stick. All this just for a background, right? How many of you like your cards to be done like really fast? And how many of you guys like to revel in the process of making a card? Guess which one I am. Yeah, so in the comments, tell me, what is your process? What is your process? Rose, I love it. You revel in the process too. Awesome. Okay, so there's that. Now, obviously, I could do this without having those inlaid there. I could just have maybe die cut them from another piece and glued them on, or just left them out or stamped them. Kayleen is a medium. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. I have times where I like a card to be done quicker or you know, whatnot. But I also like, you know, I like it to not be over too fast. Okay, so I'm just going to add just little dots of glue in a few places here. This whole thing does not need to be covered. And if you get too much, you might just kind of swipe some of it and move it to another area like I just did. But that should be enough. Nicole says she revels in the process, which is why she can never do that kind of stamping where you fit 15 minutes here or there. Yeah, I hear you. That, or it's like, okay, well, I got the background done. Okay, there's the word pumpkin. Gave it just a little bit of, you know, if you wanted to stack more in there to really get a lot of dimension, you can. But I like, this is good. This is good. Kathleen, if she has to make a lot for Christmas, fast, but looks detailed. Yeah, I like that. And that's kind of what our A Little Bit Festive is going to be. It looks fancy, but it's going to be amazing how quick we're going to get through some things and how much we're going to accomplish. Okay, so now let's kind of take a look at where this is going to go. We're going to bring that in, and let's see here. For this card, we need to do some stamping. Okay, so I'm also going to dive into my smalls bag here, and we're going to use a couple things out of this. So I set all of my containers aside in a special place so I wouldn't lose the names of everything. Searched for it all day yesterday, couldn't find it. I do know, if you remember these were called leaf labels. These are a couple years old, but I had a full pack of them. So I'm like, okay, we're spreading them out. I also had a container of wooden leaves. Don't quite remember what this one was from. You, I think, have two in your bag. I have a short-changed bag. And these are some adhesive back sequins. I don't remember the color, but this is gold. So we're using them up, folks. That's what this is all about. And so those are the items we're going to be using on this card. Those leaves and amber gems were amazing. I used them in the Rings of Nature camp. I did. Okay, so these are our elements. Now let's get some stamping going here that we're going to be putting on the card. And so with this being pumpkin, we have to do the piece of pie. So we're going to do some pie. And for this card, I'm stamping everything in early espresso. In fact, most of today's class will all be stamped, but I think one tiny little thing. Everything else is going to be early espresso. You haven't opened them yet. Yes, there were some amber gems in them that were beautiful. So you definitely want to get those out, Rose. You could use those on here. They would be really pretty. Okay, there's my piece of pie. And I'm also going to have some caramel pumpkin drink here to go with it. So I'm just going to kind of add that like right here. We're just packing all of this stuff in here nice and tight. And let's see. We're also going to do the word spice. So we need the word spice. So I think I'm just going to kind of put that like right there. Spice. That you're going to have to fussy cut. And the pumpkin. Look at all these little mini gems in this. And so we're going to stamp 1, 2, 3 pumpkins and marshmallows. Okay, this makes, I have not had anything to eat or drink this morning. I could really go for something yummy right about now. But stamp yourself some marshmallows. Okay, do you say marshmallow or marshmallow? Mallow? Marshmallows. They're marshmallows, in my opinion. Okay, and then there's one last thing we're going to stamp in here. And I'm actually going to stamp this off the edge of the page. And that is this big pile. Oh, no. Yeah, this big whipped cream. Okay, so we're going to stamp this big pile of whipped cream, but I only want to catch a little bit of it. I just want to catch the top, just like that. Okay, so now we need to do some coloring. And here I have today a whole, I have lots and lots of Stampin' Blends in my tray here. I'm going to start with, I'm going to pull out some crumb cake. That's one color. I'm going to pull out a little pumpkin pie. That's another color we're going to need. And I'm also going to pull out some Cajun Craze. So those are the colors that I'm going to use for this. And I'm also going to use just a little bit of color lifter if I need it. Okay, so let's start with the whipped cream. We're done. Let's go to the marshmallows. We're done. Okay, there's going to stay white. So let's start with the pumpkins here. So I am just going to, this is light pumpkin pie. And I'm just doing some real quick, I'm just layering some color in here. If I have a little white space here and there, I am not going to worry about it. Call it a natural highlight. Now, with the dark paper pumpkin, I'm just going to kind of trace right along these ribs. Just like a pumpkin. Just to kind of create some shadow, some depth in there. And that is it. That's all these pumpkins are going to get. And if I feel like I need to do a little blending, because I got a little bon vivant on that one, we will do that. We'll correct it. Okay, so those are my pumpkins. Easy, right? Now to the pumpkin pie. I am going to start with some Cajun Craze. And I'm going to just kind of make some dots. And they don't have to be like perfect dots. But I'm just kind of doing a little bit of dot, 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 right kind of in some areas where I want it a little darker. Okay. Just here and there. Little dots. And then I'm even going to do some, this is dark Cajun Craze. Now I'm going to do far less. Okay. Closer to the edges and just a few of them. Okay, that's it on the dark Cajun Craze. Now I'm going to go to light pumpkin pie and just start to blend this and move it in. So wherever there's that color, I'm going to kind of wiggle it back and forth to blend it in towards the center. Okay, color all that space in. Still trying to blend those. Then with my dark pumpkin pie, I'll color a little bit more. I missed this part. Why did she cover up the brown leaves with the white ones? What, these brown leaves? With these? Because if this is what you're talking about, this is an inlay technique. So I was just covering them up. These leaves I haven't used yet. Okay, here's my dark pumpkin pie. I'm just going to kind of pull some of that color. So I'm trying to bring that color down and in towards the center of this pie here. And now I'll smooth everything out with the light pumpkin pie one more time. Now this is one of those things where you want to kind of look away for a little bit and let it do its blending and its magic, and it'll be nice and pretty. All right, here is crumb cake. So I'm just going to do a quick crust here. And I'm not going to color all that top in. I'm going to leave some of it blank. And I am going to bring one more color in here, and that's petal pink. I am so glad we have blends too. Now I'm going to add this petal pink to the crust here, so it's not quite so bland looking. Okay, maybe a little more dark petal pink in there, just to kind of liven this up. Oh yes, that's exactly what it needed. Now it looks more buttery and flaky. So there's my pumpkin pie. Looks pretty good. Now for my drink here, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to do this on quite a bit of what we do today. I am going to not color this in. I kind of figured this one out when I first got this set. I was just kind of playing around with it, and all I'm going to do is draw really faint lines. Okay, down the whole cozy here. Just faint lines. And if you end up getting too close together or too far apart, don't worry about it. It's going to look fine. But what it does is it kind of gives a corrugated look. Okay, now I'm just going to draw the lines going across. And it's just kind of a texture, totally different than adding color. Okay, if you've seen this tip, you've seen all of class today. This is my favorite thing. Yeah, like the cardboard sleeves. That's right, Kayleen. That's all I did was draw stripes. Let me bring this up so it's a little closer for you to see. Yep, that's all I did. Okay, so now we need to die cut all of these out. And you guys, I do have mine done ahead of time, or we would be here for a very long time. So I didn't need to use that, but the color lifter, but I did have it out. But let me show you, all of these things have their own little die cut, right? So, I mean, you have the die cut for the coffee, the hot chocolate, the caramel, macchiato, whatever you want to call it. You have even the little pumpkin. You have a pie. But the one I want to talk about, and you have marshmallows. There's a die for that. Everything has a die except the word spice. You're going to have to cut that out. But I want you to look at, you have two dies in your set there, and I'm trying to find it. So here is the die. Okay, I'm just going to slide those off. Here's the die for the whipped cream, if we had the full whipped cream, right? But we stamped just a portion of it. In your set of dies, there is one more little die that's kind of a triangle shape, okay? So this is when you want the whipped cream on top of the drink, right? This is when you want a dollop. There is a die just for the top of that dollop of whipped cream there. Now, let's be real. We're going to put that on our pie to make it look good, but we know we all really want that much, right? So anyhow, I'm going to be real. That's how mine would really be if I were squirting a piece of pumpkin pie. But let me show you what that looks like when it's cut out. So it is, let me bring this little dude over. That's it right there. Okay, did you know that? See how it has little gaps in there? It makes it just right for die cutting out the dollop for the top of your pumpkin pie. So that's what that little weird shaped die that kind of looks like the poop emoji. Okay, so let's see. Pretend that we've die cut all of these pieces out, okay? And those will be for our card. I have those done, just so you don't have to sit here and watch me die cut a whole bunch of times. But I want to do just a little bit more die cutting from this piece. So Kayleen, I'm glad I could teach somebody, because that took me a minute when I saw it. I thought, what is that? And then I finally figured it out. Okay, so I am going to die cut myself some leaves here, and I am going to die cut the leaf again. And I'm going to die cut 3 from here, okay? For right now, I think I just need 1 because I have some others done ahead of time. But die cut yourself 3 leaves from this piece of paper. And those will show up on this card and our next card as well. Okay, so you need 3, but for right now I just need 1 because mine are already done. And they must be stuck to the thing. Yep, they are. Okay, so there are my pieces for that. Okay, and for this card, I'm going to use just the inside piece of the leaf, and I'm going to save this outside piece for card number 2. Okay, so let's start to put our pieces together. Now that we have everything, I think I need to do just a little bit more stamping though. So on my label here, I'm going to stamp, "You had me at," let's see. Here it is, "You had me at," okay, and this is just gonna go right across the top, as straight as you can get it. Cool. "You had me at pumpkin spice." You guys, I bought some candles and they're in my cupboard and they're pumpkin flavored. Oh, my cupboard smells so good. Okay, so that's gonna go there. And then my 2 leaves here. And I'm debating, I could crinkle these, but I think I'm gonna keep them uncrinkled. But this is gonna kind of come in here. And then this one is gonna spill down there. So all of this stuff will be attached just to the left side of the card. Cool, Marlene, I'm glad I hooked you up on that one. Have one of these. So let's put some dimensionals on this. I'm gonna flip this over and add dimensionals, making sure that they don't show on this one side. Okay, that'll give us some lift. Allows me to tuck that leaf in there. And then the word pumpkin will come right in here. And if you remember, we had the word spice, but the word spice, I had to fussy cut that one. It's not too hard. Spice is gonna come in here. And then we have all of our accoutrements. And so I'll put these in a minute. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of where I was going with things. First off, let's build our piece of pie and our drink here. And so I'm going to just put a teeny bit of glue. Whoops, I shot it glue right onto the marshmallow. Do just a little glue right here on the edge. Okay, put that right in there. So there's my marshmallows. And here goes the dollop of cream, which we know we all want a big, huge, giant mountain of it. You know what's cute is Finn gave me a candle. In fact, I'm gonna grab it because it's right behind me while we're here at this piece of pumpkin pie. Finn picked this out. Mind you, he's almost 4. He picked this out for my birthday. He goes, Grandma would like that. Although he doesn't call me Grandma, he calls me Bop Bop. Look at that. It's a candle. Right there. He's a funny kid, man. All right, so there are those pieces. Now, there's one more thing that I want to do. In your packet there, your kit, is this piece is about 1 yard long. It's some of the basic beige, stitched bordered ribbon, or I don't know what it's called. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to grab the stitching thread. Let's see which one's going to be easier to grab. But once you grab it and get it going, it's really easy and it's cool what you get out of this. So let me see if I can kind of get this. It's right there. I don't think I have it, but I'm going to pull it anyway. So you're just going to pull this all the way out. Jennifer's my daughter-in-law, she said he picked it out himself. He had no help. So I'm pulling I don't think I'm pulling the actual stitching thread. I'm pulling other threads, but that's okay. The first time I did, I think we're going to end up with the same thing. And it is exactly what I pulled out before. But you can kind of pull that thread that's on that edge there. It's getting easier. I can feel it right there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so what you end up with are all these fun little strings. And what I'm going to do with this is just kind of loop it around my fingers. Maybe a little bigger. I'm not going to tie it or anything. I'm just going to loop it. And it's going to set down in here right there. So that's where I'm going to put some... He is a smart kid in a lot of ways. He's a funny dude. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of lay that in there for a little added extra texture and trim the ends so they're not too wild. I know, me, not wild? What? Yeah, a while back we realized Finn had perfect pitch. It's like, what? So he is a pretty amazing kid. Okay, so these kind of come in here. And I want to anchor those down, but I need to kind of see where I want them to go. I want to make sure that my leaf here, that it doesn't end up over here, which that would look okay, but I have this hole. So I'm going to have to deal with that hole in a minute here. So let's put these down. And these are going to go down. I'm just going to glue these down. Maybe I'll tuck that underneath. Okay, kind of swing that one there. Now do you see why I didn't cut out too many of the leaves that I inlaid? I'll let that my threads here show, my texture. And then we'll put this down. Okay. All right. So right there. Cute. It's coming along, folks. Now wait, because it's going to get a lot cuter here. I'm going to glue my leaf on. This is your wood leaf. You're going to need some glue on this. And I'm just going to kind of bring that under, kind of tuck it kind of right in there. And I'll have some other leaves going in and around there as well. So, but maybe I'll wait for this one to set up just a little bit before I come in and wreak havoc. Okay, so now on to these. So this is going to kind of set right in there. And oh, I'm glad you think it's cute right there. And pumpkin is going to come across. Maybe move that guy down a little bit. And then spice. So for spice, I know I can add some dimensionals to this. So let's see if they fit on there. Oh, good, they do. I don't have to trim them down. That's going to pop out. The drink here, I'm not going to pop. I'm going to let that, I'm going to glue that at the same height because I need my pumpkin to not be lopsided. Hello, Michelle. I'm glad you're here. But I'm going to kind of do a little trick that I do every now and again. And that is I'll put my dimensional on before I put my element down, because then that way I won't have it lopsided. So let me glue the drink, and then I can glue the pumpkin, and then we'll dimensional those other pieces. It is an adorable card. It's kind of fun. And we still have to finish it with all the fun stuff. Okay, I think I'm going to do the word pumpkin next because that will help me know exactly where my pie is going, but it's going to go in that general area. But we'll do just a little here. Boy, my left hand has the shakes today. Some days it shakes way more than others. Okay, that's enough. So, just going to kind of, at the same time, I'm kind of looking at this. I kind of like the way the K comes up and frames the word at. And we'll kind of tentatively stick that one there. And now the word spice goes here. You had me at pumpkin spice. Okay, and there's my pumpkin pie. I can stick that down. Had an extra tag. Now let's work these fun pieces. So I'm going to kind of treat these like embellishments. Let's see. I'm going to do one. I'm looking at that hole, and I have that hole right there. and I also have my gems here. So let's see. Let's attack. This one isn't gluing. There's that one. Okay. Dealt with that one that way. So then let me put another. Here's a large. So that was a small sequins. Let me do a large kind of tucked back in here. Okay. And maybe a pumpkin on the coffee, cozy. I'm losing my threads over here. Hold on while I give a little pull on those. My drink kind of covers them up. Oh well, call it art. So there, and ooh, I kind of do like that. That fell down in there. Kind of like it. But that's not actually where I was planning to put it. I think we'll kind of buddy those up. And this one will go on the cozy. We'll do these two down here. And the leaves. And these we're just going to kind of tuck here and there. I'm going to tuck kind of behind here, kind of beef that leaf, that little wooden leaf up, that area. And I'll do another one. I think we'll do another one just to really beef that up, get it more fall-esque, if you know what I mean. And we'll do one more right in here. Whoops. Trying to get it to show up. There we go. Give it a little dimension at the same time. Okay, and let me add, so there's 2 on my sequins. Let's do a few more. Well, since I got a whole bunch of glue in there, we'll cover that up. It's a little funny, right? So there's 3. Let's do another one. We'll kind of tuck it down in here. Kind of hide that one. And we'll do one more down here, one more small. Well, maybe even over here. No, we'll do it right here. I kind of like when they intersect and whatnot. So let's see. We are almost there, folks. You know what it needs. She is here. Welcome our friend to the class, Stella. A little on the whipped cream. Let's hit these pumpkins. Really get them to show up. Maybe even the marshmallows. And of course, you could hit the word pumpkin. That's fun. And then a final Stella's splatter. Michelle Montemuro, hello. How's things going in San Jose? Okay, there you have it. Kind of a fun little card. I think I might, off camera, I might wiggle my threads down a little bit so that they're a little bit more balanced. But there you have it. There is our pumpkin spice card. Super cute. I think it's cute. Let's take a look at our next project. This next one is inspired by applesauce. So at the barn, we have quite a few apple trees. And so Newell picked a bunch of apples and brought them over to the house and made some applesauce. Well, he started it, I finished it. You're working in between calls. Great. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jolinda. Okay, so this next card, I'm going to use this piece of Designer Series paper. And you saw me kind of pull some others. I'm also going to bring back this piece because I've got some more pieces to stamp. And then this smaller piece of white that's in your kit, this will be for the inside of the card, okay? So, Poppy Parade and Pool Party. My Pool Party is half a sheet of so it's 4 1/4 by 11, and I have scored it at 2, 4, and 7 1/2. Let me make sure. Yep, 2, 4, 7 1/2. So this is going to be a latch back, fold back card. So that score line is going to go backwards. So let's just kind of open that and burnish that score line. Again, the measurements on this fold back are going to be 2, 4, and 7 1/2. And it's actually going to go, we're going to orient this one this direction. And so our DSP here is going to add to this page here. So it's already 4 inches. I need this to be 4, whoops, I'm losing my pieces here. Hold on. I need this to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to take some of it off, 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to have 3/4 left over here. Save that. You never know when we're going to use it. There's that. And with this one, I'm not going to do anything to this back. I'm just going to leave this the cool background paper that it is. The only thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors to do a quick distress all the way around. Just a little bit, just to kind of go along with that crunchy, crispy feeling of fall. And I think it enhances this paper. This is like my favorite paper in this pack, is this Coastal Cabana Pool Party Distressed Wood. By the way, the back side is also nice, but this is the side we're going to use. Kathy, good to see you popping on here. Hello, how are things? Okay, and just a little bit more right on that edge where I first started. Okay, that's it. Gonna give it a little bit of a look like that. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna eyeball this. I'm not necessarily gonna measure. Get it centered the best I can. And I didn't bring, shoot Queen, I didn't bring a pencil. So I'm just gonna use this. This is going to be my, if I had a pencil, I'd be making a little line right there. So I know where to cut it. There's my little funny scratch line. So you're basically cutting it at 1 7/8, but sometimes, you know, the fold might not be exact, and so that's why I'm doing it that way. Let me turn it the direction I said. And so now these pieces can glue back onto our paper here. And since this is a fold back card, I will be gluing this section together. So get that paper on, open this up, and now this all glues together. Did I tell you, you probably already know, that this fold back approach is one of my favorites lately? That's why you're seeing it from me so often. You're like, get over it, move on, find a new fun fold. This is just such a cool fold. You don't really add anything, you just adjust your folds and your cuts. That's when it's truly a fun fold, right? Okay, so there's my piece of Coastal Cabana, and so the card will open like so. So let's go ahead and add this piece inside as well. Now, I haven't designed the inside of the card yet. I had an idea. I haven't done it yet, obviously, because we're here. But it could be fun to do all kinds of things on the inside of this. And then I'm thinking this piece here, what I'd like to do is, so this, what's my measurement here? Is 3 1/2. So we're going to trim this down to 3 1/4. And we're gonna make just a tiny little pocket, which would be great for adding just a little gift card if you wanted. Just kind of stand one up in there. So I'm gonna take a notch out, gonna just take a little bite right out of there like I normally do, right? Okay, so I just keep this in my little cart right next to me because I do this so often. So just create a little pocket. Just come across the bottom here. Okay, Kathy, always love seeing what beautiful things you are making when I can. Always so much to learn, amazing things. Oh, that's sweet, Kathy. All right, so that's called using almost all the paper, right? That's fun. So then that way, you know, if you wanted, you could tuck a little gift card right in there, or a photo, or, you know, an extra message folded up. I don't know, piece of gum. That's always my favorite, or a piece of gum. Okay, so we need to do some stamping and some die cutting. Now that we have our card base ready, for this card, I'm going to use, so I remember we cut 3 of these out at the beginning, the one that we had on the first card. I'm going to use the tag on this one. And so we'll be doing some stuff to that, but we need to do some stamping and some die cutting. And let's see, remember this piece of paper here that was scrap from our first card? We're going to do some stuff with that. So let's do that first. Let me bring in some scratch paper here. And I'm going to bring out 2 really dark brown colors. This is SU100 and SU200. And I'm just going to make some dark brown paper here. So let's see. And I don't need to do the whole thing. We only need to do about that much. So I'm just going to cover this. Get this, whoops, my sticky finger rotated it. Okay, this one, and I'm just gonna kind of come over, add some more, just get it good and dark. And we need to let it dry. Okay. And while we're letting it dry, we're just gonna go ahead and give it a good coat of Wink at the same time. Okay, we're gonna let this dry because if we try and die cut it while it's wet, it will not die cut, it will just tear. So that's gonna dry, but eventually I'm going to die cut. I'll turn this over. It says nothing's better than, so we're gonna do that. Again, we'll wait for it to dry. And then with our red here, we're gonna cut the word apple twice. And we're going to cut it twice for the same reason we cut pumpkin twice, just to give it just a little bit more lift and visual scale. So we'll cut the apple twice. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the machine, get it ready. But I'm going to wait for just a second. We'll do some other things before I send that through because I don't want that other paper to be wet. Okay, with this tag here, I'm going to grab a little basic beige and a blending brush. And I'm going to give the tag just a little bit of interest here. I'm just going to add just a little bit of color so it's not quite so stark white. And I'm not giving too much pressure because I want it just kind of to be faint. Okay, beautiful. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Just give it a little lift. And then I'm going to splatter some colors here. And I'm going to splatter, and I'm going to be careful about this, but I'm going to splatter some Poppy Parade. I rarely splatter with red because I don't want it to look like a crime scene. All right? That's just kind of like, I have this like stuck in my head. So we're going to add a little bit of red. Okay, beautiful, not too crazy. And then I'm gonna also add a little bit of brown. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do to the tag. But now we have some definite stamping to do, some stamping and coloring. So let's bring our piece of paper in that we're working with. And so we're going to stamp the drink twice, if I can find it. And again, we're going to stamp in early espresso. I mentioned earlier that everything was going to be an early espresso, except for one small little thing. So I'm going to tuck this right in here. There's a drink. Let's get another drink in here. Okay. And let's see. We are going to stamp the donut. Hello, donuts. Okay, here goes the donut. We're going to stamp the donut. I think we're going to stamp the donut 3 times. Once. Twice. 3 times. Okay? And then let's stamp the whipped cream. Let's see. This time we're going to stamp a full whipped cream. Let's fit it down in here. Full whipped cream. And we're going to stamp the apples. So remember, this is an apple-inspired card. So I got a little space right there. I'm going to use it. So 3 apples, kind of like that other card. We had 3 of the pumpkins. Now I want to do a few more of the accoutrement. It's a fun word. Let's do the straw. There's a straw. Let me see here. How many straws am I using? That one is good enough for now. And then let's do a cinnamon stick. Okay, so those are our pieces for now. I wouldn't be surprised if I add more. So we need to color them. And remember, these were from another project. So these are the ones we're going to work on. So whipped cream is done. Let's start with something easy like the straw. And so I'm going to just color the straw. We're going to color it red. This is Dark Poppy Parade. So I've just done a red and white striped straw there. And for my cinnamon stick, I'm going to use a little bit of, what is this, copper clay and crumb cake. So I'm going to start with dark crumb cake. I'm just going to add some color there, not much. I didn't even get all the way to the edges or anything. And now I'm just going to throw in a little bit of the copper clay. That was light copper clay to kind of give it a cinnamony look. I can barely even say that. Light Poppy Parade. So these are going to be red velvet donuts. And they're going to have apple glaze. Okay. I'm making myself hungry. Now, when I'm coloring these donuts, if you keep the bullet tip as straight as you can get into those areas without going outside the lines. I'm not going to do any other blending or anything. I'm just swooping in a little bit of color, right? Okay, so I have 1 donut done. I need to do 2 that I'm going to have to cut out. Let's see here. So pretend we're just going to do these 2, but you do need to color the other ones. Okay, luckily these go pretty fast. Okay, just nice and upright, and that will keep you inside the lines. Okay, so those are the donut part. Now let's go for the apple glaze. I'm going to use Petal Pink. So I have dark and light, petal pink, but watch how I'm going to color this. I'm going to do something weird here. I'm just going to kind of draw a squiggly line. And that was with light. And now with dark, I'm going to go where I wasn't before. Okay, so I have light and dark kind of mixed all over. And then I'll just bring the rest to the edges. And it just gives the illusion that light and dark just makes it kind of fun. If you need to kind of enhance it a little bit more, you can. But it just kind of looks like a glaze in a way because you've got the light and the dark. So repeat, kind of color around. Lay some color down. Now, in the spots where you didn't go, hit some dark. And then blend where you need. It's a fun way to kind of approach that. And then let's add some Wink of Stella, because Wink of Stella does have some color in it. And it does give it that finish that I think makes it look nice and fun and fancy. Let's see, here's my other donut. Yep, it has Wink of Stella already on it. Okay, let's attack the apples. So the apples I'm going to do with these three colors here because I kind of want them to have a fall, more crabapple-y feel. I mean, I could add some greens. I've done that. I'm going to show that later on. But I'm just going to do a quick swoosh of red. This is light Poppy Parade. Okay, if you have missed spots. Now towards the outsides, I'm just going to kind of drag a little bit of the dark Poppy Parade, which is going to naturally give me a highlight right down the front. Okay. Now with just a little bit of the copper, I'm just going to kind of dot some color here and there. Kind of rounds it out just a little bit, gives it a little bit more depth. And if it's feeling like it's not blended enough, just come back in with your light. Kind of drag that color. Okay, those are my apples, my cinnamon stick stems. Okay, now for my stems, I'm using just a little bit of, this is lemon lime twist. Okay. But I'm kind of creating my own shade here for this one. Now I'm going to put a little pool party on top of it. And it gives me a little bit of a Coastal-y Cabana green. So it's going to tie back to our paper. Okay. Cups. All right. So we're going to do a couple cups here. We're going to do like a caramel drink, and then we'll do a coffee. So this will be like an apple caramel, you know, whatever. So for the bands, I'm going to do the same technique that I did with this one here, but this time I'm going to use, this is light Pool Party. Okay, just going to quickly draw these stripes to make it kind of look corrugated. You know, once you kind of have a little gimmick for yourself, repeat it, which is what I'm doing here. Kind of a fun texture. Okay, so that's how one of my drinks is going to be. The second one, I would do the exact same thing, but I'm going to color I'm going to color this time so that the cup, it looks more clear and we have something inside of it. Okay, so I'm going to start with light crumb cake. Is this light crumb cake? That's dark. I need light, and my light crumb cake, the tip on it is not great. So it kind of colors, but it kind of doesn't because it's so bent from, but if you can lay down enough color, you're good to go. to where you can start blending things. Okay, so there's my light crumb cake. Now I'll take a little dark. And I'm not going to color everywhere. Okay, and I'm going to switch over to a little bit of the copper. And doing even less. I don't want it to take over. It's just giving us a little bit more richness and a boldness to it. Now this is dark petal, and I'm just going to kind of drag that other color that I've put down and just kind of drag it in towards the center of everything. So pull those colors, get over top of them, and pull them in. There you have it. Kind of is a, you know, caramely apple type drink. And for this one, we'll do the same thing. Like that. That was speed. Oh, cool. Okay, there's my drink. The last thing I want to do is this is going to be more of a caramel whipped cream, is what I'm thinking. And so I'm going to use crumb cake, and I'm just going to add a little color here and there, just right along these swirls. I'm just going to throw a little bit of crumb cake, kind of right on those lines. Okay, that is it on that. But now I want to take I'm going to take dark, light petal pink and kind of come right in there. Just a little, not a lot. Okay. And a little bit of color lifter. And I'm going to use that color lifter to blend that color out. Just so I definitely have some white in here. But it does help to move it just a little bit and blend it. Ah, yummy. Okay, there you have. I've caramelized it a little bit. I've also done that with the red and the pink to kind of make it look more like a strawberry cream or something. So we're going to need to, and obviously this one needs to be colored. We're going to need to die cut the pieces for this card. There's a few that we don't need. I have one more thing we need to stamp, and that's the word season. So this card is really a sister card to our first card. So in other words, the first one was pumpkin spice. This one's going to be apple season. So I'm going to stamp the word season, and just in a spot where I know I can cut it out. Oh, shoot, Queen, hold on. That's what happens when you try to. Ooh, wow, that was a good match. I'm surprised. Okay, so to the cutting machine we go to die cut. Obviously, those others were for a previous project, but to die cut these all out. But I have a tip for you. Now, if you remember, I said you're going to want to die cut your donut on any piece of scrap paper, because just lining this up is a pain in the rear to figure out where it goes. Well, it goes right there. But anyhow, it's hard to figure it out. So what I've done is I have die cut the donut, and with a Sharpie, and this part is important that you do this part, with a Sharpie, I marked on my die, there's a little line, and then I drew a line on my piece of paper there so that I knew where this lines up on my paper, if you know what I mean. Because sometimes it feels like it could go 180 degrees the opposite direction, but that's not the right spot. So make yourself a jig, and cutting the donuts will be so much easier. You will thank me. Okay, so I have a piece of tape on here. And I happen to know that that line actually corresponds with this dip over here. And now look how fast I was able to align my donut. If not, you're sitting here trying to go, wait, I see it. Because there's two faint bumps on there. So then once you have that, go ahead and tape that paper in place. And then match your line here with the tick mark you put on your paper and put that through, okay? That will make die cutting these donuts so much easier. So on my plate, this is gonna be the next thing. On my plate, I'm cutting apple and Nothing's Better Than. That one was ready to go. We worked on those earlier. Okay, so there's that. There's my word apple. There's the die, put that away. And here comes the brown that we did, Nothing's Better Than. Okay, and we'll poke that out. This is a very delicate die cut once it comes out. So be gentle and patient. There's that. Save that, you never know when I'm gonna use it again. Save the red, you never know when we're gonna use it again. You need a second apple, but I already have one cut out ahead of time. So you do need 2 apples if you want to have that dimension. Okay, and so we're going to die cut our donut now. And you're gonna see how nice it is to have that little jig. And it's such an easy step. Hold on, gotta put a plate on top. Some things it's pretty easy to line up and you don't need a jig, but look how nice that cut that donut out. And the thing is, if you get it wrong, then this center is all wonky. So I'm gonna cut out one more donut because I don't have all of mine. So there it is. And tape that on. Again, I'm lining up the tick mark on my die. You see that right there? With the tick mark on my paper, and we'll run that through. Yeah, sometimes those items that are, they're symmetrical, but they're irregular, are hard to die cut. So you do make things easier by making a jig. Okay, so there's my donut. Get rid of this for now. We're done with scratch paper. Collecting our pieces here. So now, since I already have some pieces cut, here's my whipped cream. Here's my third donut. And here's my drink. And my other drink. We got lots of pieces going on this. And I have 3 apples. This is a very much a die cut class, right? And let's see. Here's the word season. I fussy cut the word season. And my cinnamon and my straw. And I actually have a second straw here. I thought I had a second straw. So you actually need a second straw, but that's easy. You can fit that anywhere. There's my second straw. Okay, and do you remember these from our first card? We used the insides of the leaves. I'm going to use the outsides for this one. Okay, so let's see here. Here are my leaves. Okay, wow, that's a lot of stuff. So all of this stuff is going to go on my card. Where are we going to fit it all? Well, first off, these 2 are going to go together. So let's add just a little glue to, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, well, let's see here. Just kind of spread that around. Some's got a big blob. Okay, glue the word apple together. Okay. We'll poke those little inside pieces out. I think sometimes it's easier to have those hanging on and to add the glue with them there and then to poke them out. Okay, there's that. So cute. And now this, let's pop the pieces out of this one. I like how we took a lighter paper and made it darker for our greeting here. So this one's going to say nothing's better than apple season. So that's this card. Because yeah, you've got pie, you've got donuts. Well, now you've done it. I did not buy this set. It just wasn't fall or autumn enough for me. I love what you've done with this set. I'll have to eat less next week to buy this. Yeah, that's when you go, oh man, I'm gonna have to eat top ramen. Okay, so this card, we're going to, on the fold here, so this will be part of the latch back, will be set on the tag here. We're gonna have some hidden things underneath. So let's kind of lay this out and we'll get things rolling on this guy, get it put together. So we've got our tag here, and then the nothing's better than. And I'm going to give this just a little bit of a turn, just to shape it. Nothing's better than apple. Oh, I just love these colors on top of this paper. It really is a fun mix. All right, so the star, the focal of this card will be this cup here. I'm going to have this nice fun drink right here. It's going to have an apple on it. And we're going to put in a straw and some cinnamon stick, just like so. Okay. And we're going to have a donut coming out over here. Cute. Now, these things are going to hide and peek through. They'll kind of be over here. We'll have another donut right in here, and then it hides underneath. So let's actually, let me pull these out for just a second. Let's put the tag together first. Okay, and so we'll put this together. I'm going to do some dimensionals and some gluing. So our whipped cream, it's like, do we need to put it inside the cup? I kind of like it going over the top, even though it probably should be in the cup so it's not making a mess. But I'm going to do a twofer here, and I'm going to hold my coffee cup and the whipped cream all with a dimensional. So let's start with that. Slide these out of the way. Let me bring this just a skosh higher. Okay, and I'm going to have some minis on hand here too. So I just need to kind of make sure that I'm not having, well, the mini could stick out over because it's not going to show, if you know what I mean, because we don't fold that part back. So you can put minis wherever you want on the donut here. Okay, and we'll set that there. And I'm going to glue my apple because I don't want too much dimension going on here. So glue your apple. Okay, and then these, let's see. I'm thinking for ease, do we want to just glue them or do we want to rough it through? All right, do it the right way. And let's actually let's get a little dimension in there. So I'm just going to cut my dimensional in half. And we'll stick a half C on the cinnamon stick and the other half on the straw. It just looked it looked like the wrong dimension for it to just glue. So it's getting a dimensional. And add that. How cute is that? A little canela here. Okay, cute, 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 cute. Now, so this is gonna set up top of that bump, and then apple is in here. Okay, so I think I'm ready to kind of glue some of these in place. This is gonna glue. Whoops. Whoops, I made a mistake. I wasn't paying attention. This glue here we don't want. Put it over here on this side. Remembering it's a latch card, and so that's going to fold back right there. So just be aware of where your glue is so you don't end up gluing your card shut. That's something I would do. Okay, I'm going to start with this one because this tells me where that word apple is going to go. And just a few bits and places on this guy. That should be enough. If not, I can tuck some more glue in later. Again, I mentioned that I was kind of using this little notch out is where the N in than is going to go. Nothing's better than apple season. Pumpkin apple. That's one of my favorite, you know. If you're going to Bath and Body Works and getting a candle or some soap, I like the pumpkin apple ones. They're yummy smelling. And now apple, you just want to make sure you're not going on top of that because this has to be able to open. Apple. And I've got a hanging on piece right there. Good, got it out. Nothing's better than apple. Now let's start to add our layer inside here. Okay, so this drink is right here. And the word season is actually going to go on the cup. Okay. Good thing today's farmer's market. Now you want apples. Ha ha ha. Yes, you do. Okay, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and glue my cup. Apples for sure. Okay. And I'm going to glue this donut. It's going to go under. My nephew comes over on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and he's never had apple with pork before. And I'm like, haven't you ever heard of pork chops and applesauce on Brady Bunch? And he's like, what? And mind you, he's 25. So yeah, we did some of that applesauce that we made and put it on some ribs and in the sauce. And let me tell you, it was delicious. Okay, so I'm going to glue the word season down. He thought we were crazy. Apples on pork? What? Okay, so now I'm going to fold this back. Look, that's where my glue. I have a little repair work to do here. When this is good and dry, I will kind of buff this adhesive off that's here, here, and here. But for now, let's see here. I'm going to take my donut, and this donut, oops, I glued my cup down more than I needed or wanted to. Just rip your card. Okay, I got to get this donut all the way in there. I should have put my donut down first. Sorry, folks. Okay, because it's got to be about like so. Let me pull it just, there we go, right there. And we have another drink straw here. All the fun little goodies on here. Yes, totally apples with onions. I do it all the time. I do the apples with the onions, and I'll like stew pork in that, and then, you know, puree all of that, and makes a great sauce. With jalapeno. Sorry, apples, jalapeno, and onions. Yeah, okay. There are my apples. Okay, and then here, I guess I could have done an apple there. In fact, that's maybe where it needed to go, but that's okay. I think I had my cup a little higher, and so the season was through that, but that's okay. So I'm going to add some leaves here just to kind of zhuzh it up for the season. Leaf there. And we'll do a leaf kind of, should be behind my donut. Every now and again, you know, you work in backwards order, right? And I need to glue these, but for time's sake, I'm just going to tuck them in here. Okay, this one needs to, hold on. Okay, you come off. There we go. And you underneath. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's where those going to go. I'm going to glue this one. The other one's holding on to something, but that one isn't. So in that one goes. Some extra glue on that. Okay, the only thing I'm going to add to this is I do have a piece of linen thread. This wasn't in your kit, but if you have linen thread, or you can kind of trim some of your ribbon, if you want to do kind of a bow on the top of that, you can. Jen Mallet says, why does work have to get in the way with these daytime sessions? She has a few minutes in between meetings to admire what you're making. Excited to watch the replay. Okay, well, since this one's almost done, I'll bring this one in so you can see it at the same time, Jen, while you're here. I'm going to go to my smalls bag, and I'm going to grab the green sequins. Yes, the green sequins. But look what happens when you put those green sequins on that Coastal Cabana paper. They all of a sudden start to take on a more blue tone to things. So let me glue this here. I'm just going to do a little puddle of glue like that. And I am going to add my linen thread. I think it's a nice addition. I like the texture of it with the paper. But it's not sticking. You get the idea, right? And of course, we would Wink of Stella this. Give that a good rub in. Clean up some of that glue. Okay, let's put these on. And yeah, Wink of Stella. Let's Wink of Stella the whipped cream and the word apple. And then let's start to just tuck some of these gems in. You have more than I do, because I remember I have the spare pieces. Let's see. Let's do another one. Not sure. Not sure I want another big one, so I'm just going to put this one back for now. And we will do another small. Kind of, maybe they're going to go over here. They're going to go up above. That's where they're going to go. Or maybe none at all. Maybe we'll tuck one down. I think I like them when they're kind of hidden. It's kind of my favorite. So this one, we'll drop this one down just a little bit. What to do? What to do when you can't figure out where to put your gems, right? Well, we're just going to go right here for now. Okay, just kind of 1, 2, 3. You could add more if you want, but that's what I'm going to do for now. I might tweak it in a little bit here, but cute because this folds back and then you can open it up. All right, so that was card number 2. There's card number 1 for Jen. This needs Wink of Stella. Our last card, we're going to use this is a half sheet of Early Espresso. Easy, easy. That DSP is, yeah, I agree, Kayleen. We're going to use this piece here. And this piece is bonus. You can do whatever you want with that. And so this, we're going to move into hot cocoa season here. Let's see, what are we going to stamp for this one? First off, we're going to use at the very beginning, we die cut 3 different labels. We're going to use this one. We need to do a little work on this. The first thing I want to do on this piece of paper is I'm going to cut off 7/8 of an inch. So this is 4 inches wide by 7/8. That's one piece. And then this piece here, I want to be 3 3/4. Okay. And that is leftovers. Hold on to it. You never know when we're going to use it. All right. So this piece, we are going to emboss this piece with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. Okay. So the 7/8 is going to get left alone. And the 3 3/4 is going to get run through the Forever Plaid embossing folder. You guys, this is a really fun little gizmo here, this embossing folder. I highly encourage you putting this one on a future order if you haven't done it already. It's just such a great look. It adds a nice neutral texture. And I think it's beautiful for fall. Okay, so now we need to trim this, but we need to make sure we're trimming it the right direction. So I want pieces that are 4 inches wide by 1 1/4. So we're going to split this into 3 sections, making sure we're doing it the right directions. So it needs to be 4 inches wide by 1 1/4. So I'm going to turn it. Okay, and so this piece is 1 1/4. This piece is 1 1/4, and then we're left with a piece that's 1 1/4. So our background for this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just kind of changing it up a little bit. This piece here, I want to flag the ends. And so I'm pulling out an old punch it's a keeper, just kind of like the the trio punch trio or whatever that is. This is the banner. And so I'm just going to slide this in. It's a little too narrow for this, but just eyeball it. And I'm just going to flag the end. There's one end, and we'll flag the other end. So I'm still going to be 4 inches wide, but I've just put a little notch in it. Okay, that is it. You could use scissors, but you know, I have a tool that does it. I'm going to use it. Okay, so let's add these pieces to our card. So I'm going to start with the top and the bottom. So this is a top fold card. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. And so I've just, scored it in half at 5 1/2. So there's my first piece of plaid. And now my second piece of plaid that I'm going to glue is going to be this bottom one because it's easier to fit them in between. So I'm just giving myself an even border on the bottom side and the other side than this one. And now I am going to bring this piece in as well. Kind of space those where I want them. I maybe could have moved this down a little bit, but that's okay. I'm fine with some of the brown showing. It's a nice, kind of a nice texture. So give yourself an even border between the two and on the sides. And now this last one, you're going to put right down through the middle. Okay, there's our background. And don't worry, this card is going to get very busy. Okay, so the one thing we're going to stamp on this card is going to be in Pretty and Pink. And we're going to stamp the word or the words, nothing's better than, that's what we're going to stamp. Nothing's better than, and we're not going to stamp it on that. Whoops, breaks. In your smalls bag, let's see, where did I put my smalls bag? There's a label. Can't find the smalls bag. Oh no. Let's see, where did I put it? Here it is. Okay, in your smalls bag, you have a couple tags here. We're going to use this small one right here. And we're going to stamp the nothing's better than on this tag, and it just barely fits. Now this tag, I had leftovers from the icon class, and so I had stamped or die cut a bunch, so that's where this came from. Nothing's better than. And now from this piece here, we're going to make this piece even darker than what it is. So we're going to do just like we did on that other card, and that is to take our SU 100 and 200, and we're just going to beef this up so it's just a little bit darker than what it is right now. And we're going to be die cutting the words hot cocoa. Okay, so just give it. Notice I'm not doing the whole thing. And it is getting it darker. Okay, get it good and coated because we want it darker, definitely. And then I'm going to paint it with Wink of Stella. Hello, Karen. Good to have you popping on. So give it that coat of Wink. We're going to let it dry. But I want you to see we're going to die cut cocoa and hot. Oh, that's a word Archie's learned. He knows a few words. Hot. He says hot. Yeah, he has a small vocabulary. He's not even 2. Car, Batman, bop bop, and hot. Those are his very clear words. Okay, so those we will die cut when that's good and dry. It's still pretty damp, so I'm not going to run them yet. But I'm going to get them ready. So those are getting ready. Now let's do some stamping. This is where you may want to bust into a piece of scratch paper. We can use this one up. Here's my tape from my donuts. Okay, so maybe bring in a little extra. So for this one, we're stamping a bunch of stuff. Surprise! But this is what I wanted to do. Oh, hot toddy, that would have been cute. Yes, hot eggnog, you know. Yeah, I guess you could do it though, Rose, with the alphabet sets. That would be fun. Or look through the letters and you could do the T and the O from hot, and then you could do the P's for the D's, just turn them upside down and backwards. So, I mean, you could kind of look at it and hopefully make it work, but I've done that. Okay, so we're stamping a bunch of things. For time's sake, I'm not going to do much coloring on this set because it's pretty much the same type of coloring, but let's just kind of go through what we are going to stamp. So for this card, I'm going to stamp 1, 2, 3 drinks. Okay, so we've got 3 drinks, 1 donut, okay, that one's kind of close. And we need marshmallows, 2 marshmallows. So let's do 1 there and 1 there, 2 marshmallows and whipped cream. So 2 drinks are going to have marshmallows, 1 drink's going to have the whipped cream. And, okay, for this one, our accoutrement, we're going to have some candy canes. So let's do 3 candy canes. Well, that one I didn't stamp very well. There's 3 candy canes. And I do want some gingerbread, some little gingerbread men. Did I not put him on the block? I didn't. Okay, well, let me get that guy out. I must have, because he's not in the, oh, here he is. Okay, so one of the images we haven't used, I just noticed, there are little jimmies, if you want to put jimmies on your whipped cream. Haven't used that one today, but it's there. So stamp yourself 3 gingerbread men. Who knows if we're going to use all of this? Probably, knowing me. But I'm going to color my coffee cups basically the same way I have been. So there's not a whole lot of difference there. I've just done them in different colors. One's in light crumb cake, one's in dark crumb cake, and one's in pretty and pink. And then for my whipped cream, here's my whipped cream. So I did kind of a pink cream. So I am going to color that just so you can see how I did it. And also for my donut, I colored my donut the same way I did the apple ones, the red velvet apple. This one's chocolate with pink frosting. So same thing, same way. But the whipped cream, I did just a little different. And so let me bring in dark and light, pretty and pink. And so it is going to be similar, but I just did a lot more. And so basically, I'm leaving some white, but I'm kind of tracing around all of these fun little puffs of cream. Maybe it's to one side of the line and not the other, or it crosses over like I just did. Maybe just a little bit more right there. So that is what I've done with light. Now with dark, I'm going to do even less. Okay. And then I'm going to blend it with Wink. Well, first with Color Lifter, then with Wink. So just a little bit of dark, a little bit more of the light. Now let's blend it out with a Color Lifter. You could also blend it out with Petal Pink, but I want to use the Color Lifter this time to keep it more to the white side of things than the vanilla, which is where the Petal Pink would take it, I think. But this looks yummy. Okay, so I'm just moving that ink around, getting myself some highs and lows, darks and lights, and then we'll just swirl on some Wink, and that kind of helps to blend things as well, I think. All right, so you kind of know how I did these. Now the candy canes, I'm just going to use one of the pinks. So instead of red and white, I'm doing pink and white candy canes. So cute. This is the light. Like I said, either color. And of course you do that one, but for time's sake, I'm not. Crumb cake is what I'm going to color my little gingerbread men with. And I'm not going to really do much, but just give it a real quick swoosh of color. I mean, I suppose you could zhuzh these guys up just a little bit more, but this is really all I'm doing. Okay, and so then we need to cut all of this out. But I've done it ahead of time. You've seen some of them. Hopefully you don't mind. I will keep to the die cutting in real time with you for technique time, but for this one, we're gonna go this way. Okay, so we have our gingerbread men, our marshmallows, our candy canes. Oh, you know what? In my stash of stuff here, I did the straws again. Look how cute these straws are. They are brown and pink. I love this color combo here, folks. Here's my gingerbread man. And, all right, so there's all that. I do want to do a little work to this, and it's the same thing we did with the other tag, and that is just to give it a little bit of, it's just plain white. I just want to zhuzh it up a little bit. So I'm adding what's left of basic beige on my brush there. And then we will flick or splatter. That's pink. That's dark pink, pretty and pink. And now we'll do one of the browns, any of them, it doesn't matter. We'll just kind of give that. All right. Do any of you do all this splattering? I really do think it makes a difference in how things look. Okay, so now that my hot cocoa is dry enough, I'm going to run that through the machine here. Hold on, got to get it on the paper. And for my donut, I would have used the little jig. In fact, this donut here, if you want to take a look at it, it's not cut as well because I didn't use the jig. So I should have done that sooner rather than later. Okay, so here's the word hot. We'll put that one back. Sorry, cocoa fell on the ground. And if I don't pick it up now, I'll forget. Okay, so there's our words. Looking good. Looking good. Hot cocoa. I have a friend who loves hot chocolate. Even in the hottest day of the year, she loves it. You love splatters? I'm glad. I definitely think it adds some depth and some interest, for sure. For sure, for sure. Okay, look at all this stuff we need to place. I'm going to start. We're going to have something kind of like that. Well, not really. The hot cocoa is going to go across the bottom of our paper here. I also have another hot cocoa here, and this hot cocoa is a little lighter. So this one I did on this leftover piece originally. So if you wanted to color this one, you could. We colored the other, but we'll see if we want dark hot chocolate or milk hot chocolate. I know what I am. I'm a milk. But I have both here, so we'll see. But anyhow, so let me just kind of lay this out so you can see the direction where the card is going to go. Okay, this is going to kind of come down here. And our drinks are going to be the star of the show. They're going to kind of come across where this flag banner is, right? In there. And we're going to zhuzh those up, make them cute and fun. Here's this one. Okay. And we're going to go ahead. And I think I'm going to switch these up and go like so. Or I could put 2 marshmallows in a row. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Got marshmallows, but this one has a donut coming out of it too. Okay. This one's going to go for a sugar attack. And then we're just going to have all these little fun bits and pieces. This one's going to get a couple straws. This one's going to get a candy cane in it. And these are just going to, we're just going to have fun kind of sprinkling these across. So that's kind of where it's going. And then the word, nothing's better than hot cocoa. Or we can do, oh, I think I'm going to do the lighter. Okay, so let me show you where you're going to get that. So this piece here that we did, you just color that other portion if you want the lighter hot chocolate. I like the lighter. It's pulling in these little guys. And I think I might need another gingerbread man. The last thing I want to point out is with your ribbon here, we already pulled some string out of it, but I have some that I've already cut down. So I cut down a long piece of it, and all I did, you guys have seen this a bazillion times, is I just cut a third of it off, all the way down. Okay, once I have all of that done, then I like to kind of distress it with my fingernails, okay? Because what I want to do is, let me kind of move these out of place and then we'll get all this placed in just a second, is I'm going to take this and wrap this around my card, but I got to open the card, right? Candy cane lane with a jug of hot chocolate. Nice. With a shot or 2 of brandy. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to kind of tie a bow over here on the left side. She says, really warms your insides. You know, a couple years ago, we went to the botanical gardens here in Boise, and they light everything, and they make a big, huge, I mean, there's just bazillions of lights in it. Okay, I'm going to pull this one string out of the mess here. It's driving me crazy. I mean, I like these fun added little strings, but when it makes it hard to figure out what you're tying, you got to get rid of them. Anyways, this botanical gardens is really fun at Christmas time. They light, I mean, just tons and tons and tons of lights on all kinds of trees and bushes, and they make tunnels and big, huge, fancy arbors, and it's just a fun place. Last time we went, I think we went, maybe it was like on the 23rd, and it was good and cold. And then they hand out free hot chocolate and cookies. Not toddies, though. No brandy. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit. But anyways, we have just kind of a nice rustic bow here that I think picks up on our rustic paper. I'm going to grab my ends and even them out. Okay, now I know there's a twist in that and whatnot, but you know what? It won't show in just a minute. Okay, so let's start with this piece here. And I have to figure out my height on this. So let's take our this die cut and let's build this drink right here. Whoops. So that I know how far down I'm going to put this label. Because if it's too high, then everything's going to kind of be hugging up here and it's not going to look good. If you know what I mean. Right, Vern? Okay, so again, I'm using that dimensional to hold it together. Okay, so in the words cocoa are going to come across the bottom, but I need enough room for this. So my thing is, as I'm looking at this, and this is just kind of food for thought, I don't want the line of this to be even with that. It either needs to be down lower or it needs to cross above. So I think I'm going to pull it a little bit lower, okay? And I am going to put this on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to do 3 here real fast. I think this card would look good in Poppy Parade and the brown, but I sure like the pink with it. It's kind of fun, totally different. We'll glue the hot chocolate on here. I gotta clean the tip here. It's getting a little boogery. Cannot have boogery. All right. Now, this one I'm only doing 1 layer. You could double up the layer like we have on the others, but you don't have to. So hot. And yes, it is coming off the edge there intentionally so that I have enough room here for the word cocoa. Okay. And don't get it down too tight because you are going to want to maybe come underneath just a little bit. If you want to. I might not need to. Okay. I haven't decided because I do have plenty of room because we marked it out. Plus we scoot it down a little bit. I could put this on with dimensionals. I think I'm going to do it. I'm beefing them up, making them puffy. You could glue all of these layers. They don't need any dimensionals, but I like them. So what specifically, Rose, is Candy Cane Lane? Is it a festival of lights? Is it houses? What exactly? So now you might have noticed I'm doubling up here on the one side of my drink. Okay, there's that one. And then let's put this drink. This one I'm going to put over here. Hello, got to take the sticky off the backing off. Okay. this drink here. Dimensional. Let's grab the marshmallows. These I am going to tuck inside. Okay. And this is going to get its donut. Hold on, let me turn this. This one's going to be like, I'm going to be in a sugar coma with this one. I'm going to rotate the donut around just a little bit and give this a dimensional. So we can put this one on. We're almost done here, folks. Yep. This card is definitely a sugar attack. So let's put this guy on. And this one has marshmallows as well. Okay. And again, I need to bump up this upper half because this half is on that level. Oh yeah. Cute. So different. Okay, now let's put our straws in and then we'll do the little fun added embellishments and whatnot. Okay. So let's give the straws. We're going to do a straw there and another straw by it, kind of balancing it out. That one got a donut, that's got cream, and this one gets the straws. Okay, cooperate. So what are you guys doing for the rest of today? I actually am going to get my Idaho driver's license. It's only been 3.5 years. What forced me to go and get it done was to be able to register to vote. So that is what I'm doing later today. Anything fun on your to-do list? Maybe this is gonna go here. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where you want to put all of your bells and whistles. I almost even feel like I could have a few more gingerbread men, but I'm not gonna, maybe I'll put them on later, but let's see, let's just kind of finish this out. Or maybe we go here. Or here and here. Yeah, we'll do that. Finally, Kayleen said, yeah. Well, and I have to do it now because my photo ID expires. It's my passport. It expires in a couple days, so I have to get it all done before then. Yes, that's right. So if you don't know about some of the extracurriculars I do besides stamping, I actually have been working as a poll worker for the past, ever since I moved here. Somebody asked me to help, and so I've been doing it since I moved here. Newell's like, you're going to work a poll? He was so excited. I said, that's P-O-L-L, not P-O-L-E. Anyhow, so I was asked to switch places with somebody. So I am the chief judge for our precinct. So that'll be kind of fun, different. But it is interesting to see the whole process. I enjoy it. Okay, so there's kind of my fun little, you may see when I take the photo, I may add a few more bits and pieces in there, but for time's sake, I'm not going to worry about it. But there are some pink gems in your bag, and I believe you have more than 4. Like I said, I got gypped on it. She had the polling place at her house. Wow, that's cool. I did get an email, and they said, we're adding a poll worker and another machine for checking in because of the high registration numbers in our polling place. So I thought, nice. Okay, so I'm just adding some gems in here. I think these are kind of fun, little sparkly things. I'll stick with that for now. And let's just kind of play these up. I'm going to add another gingerbread and maybe another candy cane. We'll see. Just to kind of finish and round it out. And then splatter this like crazy. And this is just a kind of a fun, wintry card. Yeah, I really want some more little things. I just really want to pack that all up. But that's cute. Different. So let's just take a look here. Got some pretty busy cards going. Our hot cocoa, our apples, and the pumpkin spice. Okay, that's kind of a fun, easy fold. And then here's our fold back latch card. And then our hot chocolate. This one's just a top fold card. Kind of fun, but I'm not done. Even though we're 10 minutes over, we're going to go another 5. Let's see here. I just wanted to share with you. Here's another, just kind of simplifying things a little bit. You know, I always have to go over the top. This card would have been cute with one drink, just like this one. But pumpkin spice is the best. I like these builder words in this. There's all kinds of things you can write. And here, so this one here is where I said, here I have lots more accoutrement in this one. I'm feeling like maybe that I should add some pink hearts through this, kind of like this one. So this one, if you didn't notice, is the same layout. The background is the same. So I have the 3 plaid sections and then the banner coming through the middle. It's kind of like this one right here. So that, if you might not have noticed or caught that. So this was an artisan project. I hadn't looked at this in a while. I made it and then kind of tucked it away. It really is a cute card. That plaid, but this crumb cake has been splattered with so many different colors. It has a lot of cool texture in it visually when you see it in person. But I like this look here, and that's what I'm going to develop here on this one a little bit more. So you'll see that once I take a picture of it. And then I wanted to share with you the page that I did for this particular, with this set. Point some things out that the pumpkin pie pieces, you know, kind of like I've been coloring, and some of the different things. But so here's that plaid that to me looks great with this set of, I think it looks great with any of the autumn things, actually, and even Christmas. So that's why I think it times nicely. For this, though, if you'll notice, this piece here is 11 inches, and our embossing folder is not that big, right? But what I did is I just embossed it in 2 sections. I did a top section and a bottom section, and you can't even tell where it is. I think it's either right here or right here. But anyhow, have some fun with that. And then, you know, just kind of playing around with some of the colors and things of the season. This is that 12 by 12 textured metallic paper that we've used the copper, the tungsten, the bright gold. Here it is in the copper. So just some cute stuff. And then the leaves kind of die cut here, poking out, distressed paper. Just have some fun. So, I mean, this More Than Autumn, you could make a big old scrapbook page, or maybe you make a mini album, and you can go from early fall into Halloween to Thanksgiving, right into Christmas. And I think you could make some cute things. I think it'd make a really cute little mini album. So anyhow, there's Finn. That's last Halloween. And even how it includes words like fall. Let's just kind of look at those real fast, the benefits of some of the stamps in here. There is peppermint. I was thinking about that earlier, but there's the fall, and love you more than, hot chocolate, except, some of these, except for maybe you. I think that's a little snarky. I wouldn't put that, but gratefully it's finally pumpkin season, donuts. I've seen some really cute stuff with donuts. Anyhow, so I thought I would share. Any questions, let me know. Happy to help you out with whatever. Just fun stuff. I've enjoyed this little bundle, and I think you will too. So there you have it. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Next week, there is no class because I will be packing up all of the kits for our mini camp. Don't forget to register for A Little Bit Festive. I only have a few packets left, and then it'll just be PDF, but it's going to be fun. So I will see you then. Thanks, Rose. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. And Nicole, have fun at the farmer's market. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye, Marlene.